Well, students, we're going to keep working on these portraits and self-portraits of you and your mom or your dad and telling a story about what you like to do for fun. So please remember that with your crayons, I would like you to make sure to outline or trace your lines, because you can see that I've got these cups of paint next to me. So we will do a little bit of painting today and then more next time. But around your face and your ears and your nose and your neck, make sure that you press that on. You can see I'm even doing it twice. So I might go back and forth on the line because otherwise it will get covered up with paint. So that's a line, so I'm going to trace it. If it's a shape like the hair, I'm going to color it. You might need to do some mixing to make it look more real. Following and finding colors for the eyes, because my dad's eyes are blue, so I'm going to do those. I'm doing some pinks and peach colors for the lips. And then you do want to do your clothing. So here, I am going to choose to find a shape, and then I'm going to color it. And if it's a line, I'm going to trace it. So here's another shape. So I'll color it. Here's a line, so I'm going to trace it. Shape, color it. Line, trace it. So keep that in your mind. If it's a line, trace it. If it's a shape, color it. If you do want to do a mix, you can, if you get most of these things colored. So here, finished working on his shirt. And then I'm going to take a look at the background, and it looks like most of my lines and shapes are done. I wanted to mix two different greens for this tree, so I'm taking a lighter green for that. Might use a little bit of brown and gray to make that look a little bit of a darker gray for that tree. So that's a shape, this is a shape, so we'll get that colored in. All of these zigzag lines are lines, so I want to trace those. Here's my horizon lines, I'm going to trace that too. Those are lines. The golf clubs are a shape, so I want to give those a little bit of color. A little bit of gray to make them look like metal. And then don't forget with your clouds, color them white, because then they won't get covered up with paint when we do the sky next time. So if you want to add a little bit of blue like I did to the bottom of them, that's fine. But definitely color in the clouds, color in the sun. You can see that I did an orange and a yellow mix. Trace those broken lines that are around there. Trace your wind and stuff. So if you get all your lines traced and all your shapes colored, then it's going to be time to paint it. You'll have to ask me for a paintbrush to paint it. I'm noticing that those are not colored in very well, so I'm going to go back and press that color on better. Okay? Now that I have those done, if you did want to mix two different greens or two different blues, or for this example too, I could use two different oranges. And then we'll start painting. Now, I've got a few different colors. I wish I had even more colors for skin colors, but I at least have a darker skin color, kind of a medium skin color, and a lighter skin color. So hopefully one of those will work well for you. And I'm going to give you a larger container of water here. I'm going to set that a little bit over to the side. And I'm going to take out my paintbrush. And with this paintbrush, I'm never going to splash it or bang it. I'm going to always just dip it in and wipe it off to get most of the water off. Don't splash it or bang it. You can also see that I'm holding it right above this metal part. That's a good place to hold on to it. And my skin color is probably the closest to this. Something I want to point out is that this is only going to need a little bit of paint. This one drop that's on my brush will almost do my whole face. So I'm going to spread this out a little bit, and then I'm going to start to brush it in. So you can see that I took some and put that drop right kind of down here by my cheeks. And I'm going to use that to go around my eyes. Please don't paint right on top of your eyes. Now if I use all of the paint that I had, then you could get another drop. But you only need a little bit as you go. And if it's not looking very smooth, then you can get another drop of water also, and that can help smooth the paint out. If your brush is ever making a scratchy sound, that means probably you need another drop of paint or you need another drop of water. We don't want any scratchy brushes. That will hurt the brush. So now that I did my face, you can see that I carefully went around my eyes because I want to leave those parts white. I want to get right up here to make sure that there are any white spots left on my forehead. Now I need to get another drop of water, another drop of paint to do my neck. Now you can see that's kind of a lot of paint, so I might as well put that over on my ear. Don't forget to paint your ears in. And if it's looking like this, then that means to smooth this out and kind of brush it. And if I brush it all the same way, it should smooth out and be pretty even. Now, when I'm done painting my face, then I'm gonna do my dad's. He happens to be the same skin color as me, so I'm gonna use the same color. But if your mom or your dad has a different skin color, find a color that you think matches them. So I'm gonna go around his glasses. And I'm just using just the point of my brush. I'm gonna go around his mouth too, because I don't want to get a bunch of paint all over his lips. And it looks like I need another drop of paint and another drop of water, and that will help smooth all of this out. So I should not see anyone just continue to get more and more and more paint, just one drop at a time. Let's use some of this up here for my dad's ears. Go around his mouth. And I can paint a little bit inside his glasses, just not on his eyes. And then let's take one more drop and a drop of water, and that should brush out this for his neck, okay? If you get this all done, then I'm gonna give you permission to start painting the clothes, but most of everything else will be done next time. So we just really want to do a good job on the faces. If that gets done, then I'll move these out of the way for you, or you can move them out of the way. And then I'll give you some of this more colorful paint. Now, this colorful paint here, you do need to be careful with it. You can see that this has some little cracks and breaks around the edges. If you see that, that means be extra gentle. So now that I gotta switch colors, I'm gonna rinse off my brush to make sure it's clean. You can see I'm not splashing it, I'm not banging it, I'm just wiping it off. And then I'm gonna use some of this blue, and I'm gonna make sure my blue just stays right in the blue. Wipe it off a little bit, and then I can use that to paint in these other parts of my shirt. You can hear how gentle I'm being. I didn't want to do a green shirt because I'm going to have green grass and then I would have green on green. So that's why I'm picking something different. And then when I have my shirt done, then I can move over and paint my dad's shirt. Hope that you're noticing that when I'm painting this too, I'm like painting a line, picking up my brush, painting a line, picking up my brush. I would never take it and scrub it on the paper because then it would make a scratchy sound, it would hurt the brush. So I'm just kind of painting a line and then picking up my brush. Then when I'm done with that, my dad's shirt is gonna be orange. So I'm gonna make sure that all the blue is washed off because if blue mixes with orange, it'll turn it brown. So make sure you wash your brush off well. And then we'll paint this in. If for some reason you get it all painted, then you could work on doing the grass or doing a little bit of the background. I just don't want you to paint the sky because I want to talk to you about the sky, but if I had time, I could start adding a little bit of color to the ground. But I could do something different too. I could do, like, if I had a little bit of extra time, I could put more blue paint on the blue paint, or put more orange paint on the orange paint, or put more green paint on the green paint, and just add an extra layer. So you don't have to tell me you're done if you get all of those parts painted, then you can just do an extra layer of paint. But I will keep working on this. For next week, we don't have to get it all done today. If you do paint in these parts, you can see how carefully I'm going around it to not get any green paint on my face. And I'm gonna go all the way up to my horizon line. Okay, so I'll stop there. We'll do some more next time. When we're done, we can just leave our brush in the water, and I'll give you some cleanup directions. And yeah, let's just have a lot of fun.